When the world sees Brad Pitt on the red carpet, they see a life of luxury and success. But behind the scenes, his private world was being destroyed. While he was promoting F1, burglars broke into his mansion and left a trail of chaos. The question is simple but terrifying. If a Hollywood icon isn't safe, who is? In the world of Hollywood, few names carry as much weight as Brad Pitt. His face is familiar to millions. His films are cultural events, and his life is followed with a mixture of admiration and curiosity. But in the summer of 2025, the star's glamour collided with a harsh reality. Fame does not protect anyone from danger. While Pitt was thousands of miles away in London, promoting the global blockbuster F1. The movie, his Los Angeles home was invaded, ransacked, and left in chaos. The incident was not just another celebrity burglary, it became a symbol of a deeper issue in modern Los Angeles. It raised questions about security, privacy, wealth, and the unsettling truth that criminals can strike anywhere, even in the most affluent neighborhoods. It was a quiet night in late June when most of Los Feliz lay asleep behind locked gates and manicured hedges. The kind of night where the city feels calm, even peaceful. Yet somewhere within that calm, a group of intruders moved with intent. According to law enforcement reports, the burglars scaled a fence and broke into Pitt's property, bypassing security and entering through a smashed window. What followed was not a quick smash and grab, but a systematic ransacking. The house was searched room by room, drawers emptied and belongings scattered across floors and countertops. It was the kind of chaos that suggests more than opportunistic theft, it suggests a team that knew what they were doing. When the police arrived, they found a home turned upside down. The scene was described as ransacked, and it was clear that the intruders had been thorough. What exactly was stolen has not been publicly disclosed, but the severity of the break-in suggested that valuable items were taken. More importantly, it revealed a chilling truth. Even a celebrity home with significant security can be vulnerable if the intruders are determined. The timing of the burglary added another layer of shock. Brad Pitt was not in Los Angeles at the time. He was in Europe promoting F1, attending premieres, meeting fans, and walking red carpets. The film's global marketing campaign was in full swing, and the world was watching him in glamorous settings. Meanwhile, back in Los Angeles, his home was being violated. It was the kind of story that makes people pause. How did the burglars know he was away? Was it a coincidence, or did they track his movements? Were they targeting him specifically, or was this part of a larger pattern of crime affecting affluent neighborhoods? As investigators worked the case, they began to see a pattern. The burglary did not occur in isolation. Around the same time, several other high-profile homes in Los Angeles had been targeted. The city was experiencing a wave of burglaries in upscale areas, and celebrities were increasingly becoming victims. This created a sense of unease. The very image of Los Angeles as a glamorous, safe place for the rich was being challenged. Los Angeles has always been a city of contrasts. It is a place where immense wealth exists beside immense vulnerability, where luxury homes are built in hidden valleys and high walls hide lives of privilege. But it is also a city where criminals know that opportunity is often found behind gates. For burglars, a celebrity home is not just a house. It is a potential treasure trove. Investigators quickly linked the Pitt burglary to a broader network of similar break-ins. Police confirmed that the suspects likely entered by climbing over a fence and breaking a window, a method that allowed them rapid access to the property. They also found evidence suggesting that the burglary was part of an organized series of crimes, not a random act. The suspects were described as operating in a team, moving from property to property, looking for the most valuable items. Within weeks, law enforcement announced arrests connected to the case. 4 suspects were taken into custody and charged with first-degree burglary and other related crimes. Among them were young men identified as 18-year-olds, believed to be part of a larger burglary ring. Their arrests were hailed as a significant step in the investigation, but the case also highlighted the ongoing challenge faced by police in combating organized theft. The burglary also raised questions about the vulnerability of mid-century modern homes, which often feature large windows and open spaces, Pitt's Los Feliz residence, known for its design and aesthetic, may have been visually stunning but also exposed in ways that more fortress-like properties are not. For homeowners, the lesson was clear. Security measures must match not only the value of the property, but the value of the people living within it. The public reaction to the burglary was immediate. News outlets around the world covered the story, and social media was flooded with commentary. Many expressed sympathy for Pitt, noting that even the rich and famous are not immune to crime. Others debated the broader issues of crime in Los Angeles and whether the city was doing enough to protect its residents. The burglary became a talking point, not just about celebrity life, but about public safety and the growing sophistication of criminal networks. In the days following the break-in, the story became a symbol of the modern age. It illustrated how fame, technology, and crime intersect in ways that can be devastating. For many, the burglary felt like a warning. No matter how much money you have, no matter how famous you are, the risk of being targeted is real. But it also revealed the resilience of those who choose to live in the public eye. Brad Pitt continued his promotional work for F1, showing a calm professionalism that contrasted with the chaos unfolding at home. His response was not one of panic, but of determination. He did not allow the burglary to derail his work or define his public image. Instead, he focused on the film, on his career, and on moving forward. The story of the burglary is also a story about law enforcement and the challenges of solving high-profile crimes. In many cases, burglary rings operate with a level of sophistication that makes them difficult to track. They use surveillance, research, and coordination to target homes when occupants are away. They know how to avoid detection and how to move quickly. For police, the task is not only to catch the criminals, but to understand the network behind them. In Los Angeles, the Pitt burglary became a wake-up call. It sparked conversations about the need for improved security measures and better community cooperation. It also raised questions about whether the city's affluent neighborhoods were being targeted more frequently than before, and whether the police had sufficient resources to address the growing threat. The burglary also highlighted a fundamental truth about wealth. It attracts attention, both positive and negative. Celebrity homes are not just residences, they are symbols. They represent success, status, and power. And for criminals, they represent opportunity. The more visible a person is, the more likely they are to be targeted. As the investigation continued, the story remained in the public eye. People watched closely for updates, wondering what had been stolen, who was responsible, and what would happen next. The burglary became part of a larger narrative about crime in Los Angeles and the vulnerabilities faced by public figures. The burglary of Brad Pitt's home was more than a news story, it was a lesson in the modern reality of fame. It showed that even the most iconic stars are not immune to danger, and that the world of Hollywood is not immune to the same problems faced by ordinary people. It revealed the vulnerability of privacy in an age of constant visibility. The incident also became a reminder of the complexity of modern crime. It was not a simple break-in. It was an organized act that exposed the existence of sophisticated burglary networks. It was a moment that challenged assumptions about safety and privilege, and it forced people to reconsider what it means to be protected in a world where information is easily accessible. For Brad Pitt, the burglary was a moment of unwanted intrusion. For law enforcement, it was a case that demanded attention and action. For the public, it was a reminder that the world of fame is not as untouchable as it seems. And as the dust settled, one truth remained. The heist was not just a burglary. It was a modern drama that unfolded in the shadows of celebrity, revealing the fragile boundary between public life and private security. If you want more real stories behind the headlines, hit subscribe and join us as we uncover the truth behind the world's most shocking events.